Our circadian rhythm is around a 24-hour rhythm set to the rising and the setting of the sun. And so one thing that's nice to keep things simplified is the more we're getting ourselves outside and exposed to these rhythms, the more everything just works. Since 2001, the EPA did a study and they found that the average person was spending around 90% of their days indoors. Doing that is dividing our connection to these rhythms of nature. So the free, largely, and available thing for all of us to do when this is occurring, when we're seeing like our sleep is not working, we're waking up at 3, 4 a.m., etc., or having difficulty falling asleep, what we want to do is go back to the basics. And part of that is to align with that and strengthen that circadian rhythm. So part of that will just mainly be mimicking what's going on outside, inside, and getting ourselves outside more frequently. Because we do see that sleep as an industry, really like as an area of study, didn't really come into fruition until the Industrial Revolution, when we started going more indoors, when we started being exposed to electric light at night, and then the absence of bright natural light by day. So it's a two-part system here. So part of the reason, because that can be confusing too, because people are like, why does, me getting bright sunlight outside at 7 a.m., what does that have to do with when I'm trying to fall asleep at 10:30, 11? And it turns out that one of the discoveries that we have is melatonin. While we used to think of it simply as a hormone of darkness, which it is, and so that's from the brain-based production of melatonin with the presence of darkness, and that certainly happens. But we've also discovered that the creation of mitochondrial-based melatonin is occurring from the presence of sunlight. And so we want to get and foster that presence of sunlight to create that mitochondrial-based melatonin and support overall melatonin production. Also, how you feel throughout the course of the day, and making sure all those hormones are aligned, because part of that circadian health is ensuring that two key hormones that relate to sleep are functioning well. And those two happen to be cortisol, so your cortisol pulse in the morning, and your melatonin pulse in the evening. And if they are at odds, so a signature often of poor sleep when people are struggling with their sleep might be a delayed cortisol pulse. So it's delaying in the time that is pulsing, if you will, and then can be at odds in your ability to create melatonin. So if you're stressed out at night, you've got all these bright blue lights on, you didn't see sunlight, so you're living upside down. You've been like in a really dim, dark environment by day, and now you're flipping on all the lights at night. You're on all your screens, you're stimulated, all these things. Then your cortisol can be rising during a time when we don't want to be fostering that.